Hello, this is Amos Tarfa. Just making a quick video to share a link from a presentation I gave last month in Chicago. My family has settled down now in North Dakota, so that's where I'm standing outside here. But we thank God I'll be starting my PhD program in chemistry this fall. As I keep working in medical physics, I'll be doing my PhD in chemistry. So that's sort of an update on the family front. Still doing some teaching online, but mostly preparing for the PhD program. But last month I was in Chicago and I had an opportunity to share about sort of this relationship between science and faith and trying to understand the role that each one plays and then how they are connected. So remember, if you have something that can be a blessing to somebody and you have an opportunity to share, I think you should go for it and share. And so I'm hoping that this link can be a blessing to you. Feel free to share it with your friends. So the link is a YouTube link, which is attached in this description of this section of Facebook or YouTube, wherever you are at. But then I will also attach the website where you can get the PowerPoint of the presentation, as well as the full course where I cover more material. So what I want to do is I just want to share briefly about what this topic was, what this topic was about, and then we'll go from there. So I know it's Friday. Maybe you had a tough week. Sorry if you did. But this is just a video that maybe if you could sneak in an hour somewhere this weekend, feel free to check it out. Tell me what you think, what your questions, thoughts, comments, objections are. But I'll give you my thesis. Now, as you watch the video, you need to have mercy on me, okay? I only had 1 hour. And some of the topics I was trying to cover are from these books that I have here, right? So I have these books here, okay? And I'm trying to condense the ideas from these books into an hour. And that's, of course, difficult. So what I was trying to do was give an important part of the relationship between science and faith. And then I created a separate course where I'm going to start uploading more videos. If you want to take that course, I have it on Teachable. You can sign up and you can start watching some of the videos I have. And I'll be adding more videos throughout the summer. So here's the thesis of the video, of the presentation. Science, the question was, can science explain everything? And part of that was inspired by, books like John Lennox's book and then John Polkinghorne, who was a professor of quantum physics at Cambridge University. But can science explain everything? Or here's the question that I rephrased it and I said, what are the implications of science not being able to explain everything, right? Because we live in a time where many people think science can answer all the questions, but science can't. And at the same time, we only have one life to live, so we can't keep waiting for science to somehow find the answers to some questions, because science hasn't answered those questions. Not because it can't answer them, but because it is unable. It is outside the realm of science to answer those questions. Questions such as, what is the meaning of life? What should I do with this life that I have? And so one of the things I want to remind you of is that your life matters. Your life has meaning because you were created and made in the image of God. So your life matters. And I want you to remember that no matter what anyone has told you, that your life has value and you need to seek to live it for the one who made you, for the glory of God, to live it to its fullness. Do not allow peer pressure and all the things that the world tells you you're supposed to do and be to affect who you choose to become. Because for the Christian, our goal is to become like Christ, as it says in Romans chapter 8. So we keep our eyes on becoming like Jesus Christ. So let's remember that our lives have value and meaning and purpose because God created us. And science, again, cannot tell you that, cannot tell you about the value and meaning and purpose that your life has. As a matter of fact, there are some theories in science that are not valid, but that will nullify the idea that your life has value. And that's a problem. When people tell you that you're just floating through the air with no purpose and meaning, and you're just a piece of dust, and there's no purpose to your life, that is a sad theory that some people espouse or put forth in science. So let's remember that science cannot explain certain things, not because it has not yet had the opportunity, but because it is outside the realm of science for science to explain those things. Therefore, we need a place where we can find the answers to the question of meaning and purpose, to the question of why there is something rather than nothing, to the question of what happens after this life. Like, is there more to life than here and now? Those are issues that we see explained clearly in the scriptures, in the Bible, the teachings of Jesus Christ. And those, when we believe what he has taught us through that, it actually explains why science can explain it all. And so I want to leave you with two quotes. I know this video is getting long. Just want to encourage you to check out the link. But let me leave you with two quotes. One of them is by Sir Peter Marwah, who was a British biologist and a writer. And he said, "The existence to the limit of science is, however, made clear by its inability to answer childlike questions such as, or childlike elementary questions such as, first and last things. How did everything begin? What are we here for? What is the point of living? So the point here he's trying to say is that the elementary questions cannot be answered by science of how did everything begin fundamentally? How did everything begin? What are we all here for? What is the point of living? And again, we're going to be looking into some quantum physics from John Polkinon's writings, and also looking at discussions from mathematics, physics, chemistry, through the course of looking at some of these books, right? And John Polkinon, as I said, he has a book called Belief in God in an Age of Science. He wrote a lot about the relationship between science and faith. Wonderful thinker, and I believe he passed away last year, actually, or earlier this year. But just shows you that there are many people of faith who are very, involved in science. Isaac Newton, Johannes Kepler, Galileo Galilei. We could go on and on. Robert, the list is long. James Clerk Maxwell. But the point is, there is no conflict fundamentally in doing science as a person of faith. We should strive to learn more and more about God's world, but ultimately, faith in God is the foundation for why we can even understand why the universe makes sense at all. So that's sort of the summary. But let me leave you with the last quote here by Richard Swanberg, who is a philosopher. He says, "I am not postulating." So when we discuss faith in relation to science, I am not postulating a God of the gaps, a God merely to explain the things that science has not yet explained. I am postulating a God to explain why science explains. I do not deny that science explains, but I postulate God to explain why science explains. Why can science explain anything, right? That's a very good question. Why? And Richard Swanberg, the philosopher, would say, because there is a creator, there is one who designed the universe. C.S. Lewis, the writer, also said the same thing about this whole, God created the world, and those who studied science, especially in the 16th, 17th, 1800s, had an expectation for how the world should work. Now, not all of them were Christians, of course, but the point is that a lot of the Christian thinkers who were scientists back then were studying science more in depth because they expected order in the universe. So, my friends, I know that's a lot to chew on, but please check out the link. Let me know if you have any questions. I also want to let you know that I will be focusing throughout the summer before my graduate school work starts in August, September. I'll be focusing a lot of time on answering questions to encourage young people, especially those in middle school, high school, and college. Making videos to encourage them and just challenge them and encourage them where they're at in life. So please, if there are topics that you think young people need to hear about or learn about, please feel free to send them. I'm excited to share as I am able. With this setup, it's very easy to just come out, push record, and get a video out encouraging young people. So please let me know. Feel free to share these videos with your friends who are young or with your friends who love the discussion on science and faith. I appreciate you taking time to watch this. I hope that your week again went well. If it didn't, I'm sorry, and I pray that your weekend goes well. But take time, reflect, enjoy time with friends and loved ones. Enjoy time reading God's word and growing in his truth. And have a blessed weekend. I look forward to sharing more with you later. Take care, and thanks again.